Welcome back, everybody, to Mr. M's class. Let's get right into it. We're going to talk about some of my wins of the week. I have a few losses this week, but let's get right and going. I made it out alive. You're going to hear me say this every week until the day I die in my classroom. I made it out alive. That's a win of its own right. Enough said. 2, I work with an interdisciplinary team. So I don't work with other English teachers per se on a daily basis. I work with the other math, science, history teacher. We see all the 7th grade Popham kids. Has some positive, has some cons. I'll take the positives more than anything. However, I don't really have the most opportunity to really volleyball ideas off other English teachers. All good. Nonetheless, we meet every Tuesdays and Thursdays for one of our prep periods. I get technically 3 preps, 1 lunch. That takes a lot of my time. I enjoy seeing them. I enjoy discussing whatever we have to discuss within the Popham 17, but it takes a lot of my time. I'll say it again. Our house counselor decided we're going to take away one of those meetings a week. That's a win, y'all. That's a win. Educators, you know how valuable those prep periods are. Just retrieving one of those days, man. I've been able to get a lot done recently. That's a win in my book. So, house counselor, thank you. Thank you for giving us a day back. I got a lot done this week. So by extension, getting one of those days back, it's going to lead me into win number 3. I'm caught up on grading. I think that was one of the first wins I ever gave y'all in my first episode, maybe second episode. But I'm back at it. I caught up on grading. That extra 48-minute period, I get a lot done. I lock my classroom door, I hide in the back. Why do I do that? Because sometimes people just want to walk in, whether it's students or other educators, and sometimes they talk for a little too long. I don't mind the conversations, but if you see me with a stack of papers in my hand, keep it short. Keep it short. That's all I ask. So I got a lot of grading done. And honestly, I was just able to prepare for the next week. That's a win in my book. Win number 3. Let's talk about win number 4. My students had a summative exam this week, and that's just like the final exam for whatever unit you're covering. Summative formative assessments are quizzes or any type of check-in that you provide students on a daily basis, a weekly basis during the unit. Summative is like, all right, you're done with the 6-week unit, 4 or 5-week unit, whatever it might be. Let's see what you know. So I'm taking everything I taught in week 1, everything I taught in week 6, putting it in one exam, summative exam. They had one of those this week. Here's a win. I had a whopping 4 students who showed up during my office hours to receive extra support. You might be thinking, Mr. Mayon, 4 students. How many students do you teach? 15? I teach 88 students. Yeah, it's a low number, relatively speaking. I'll take it. For some reason, English is like the little brother of all the subjects. Although English is tantamount to survival skills these days, you want to learn how to read and write, but for some reason, all the students always show up to the science and the math classes when they have a big exam. I'll be walking by, I'm a little envious sometimes. I'm like, all right, math teacher has a big exam on Friday. I walk by Monday through Thursday after school, I see 30 plus students in there. But once Mr. Mayon's giving the English exam, crickets. Nobody shows up. But having 4 students show up was a win in my book. And you know what? I'm going to give myself some credit. I'm going to ascribe it to the fact that I'm overly preparing my students. So they're like, Mr. Mayo, I don't need to show up. You did so well giving instruction all throughout the 6-week unit. I don't need to show up. I'm good. Give myself a little pat on my back. Win number 5. So in my district, educators, we get paid for coverages. I have to communicate that because I was in a district prior where it was a mandatory duty, responsibility within the contract, and I didn't get paid for them. Educators, sometimes it may even be challenging just teaching your own class and covering your own class. So you might be thinking, why would you want to cover another class? Well, we get paid in my district. I haven't picked up many coverages throughout the year because going back to time, I'd rather spend that time prepping for my next period or catching up on grades or emails. But like I said, so everything is tying in together with my wins. That extra prep period I get now because I don't have that meeting anymore, I'm able to get so much done. So I saw the email, coverage needed so-and-so today. I shot back, I'll take it. So they sent me a coverage. Man, these were the most pleasant students. So I got paid, I was able to get work done. I walked in there, I was like, all right, I can't find any of the work. I don't know what the teacher left. They're like, oh no, we got it, Mr. M. We got it. I had a tear drop through my eye. I kept looking up, waiting for somebody to do something stupid. I didn't have to worry about that. That was a win in my book. Thank you for being the most pleasant students, Fountain 8. Those Fountain 8 kids were great. Nonetheless, let me go back to my number 4. I have to get some shout outs. Thank you, Emma and Gabby. You are some wonderful twins. Thank you, Nathan G and Austin. I really do appreciate y'all coming for some extra support. It really does mean a lot. And honestly, what students don't know, when you show up for that extra support and you may get something wrong, if you give me a solid response and a short response with some nice evidence, I'm gonna try to look for something and give you some extra points. Just letting y'all know, that's what happens when you put in the extra initiative and go to extra help. Those are my 5 wins of the week. I couldn't find a 6. I'm trying to get to a 6-1. I couldn't find a 6-1. I couldn't think of a 6-1. However, I do have some losses. Let's see. I'm not going to talk about that one student who spilled a little water on my desk and bursted out the room. I got to go to class. I'm late. I'm not going to talk about you. I'm also not going to talk about that one student who told their parents that, Mr. Mayon didn't do anything to prepare them for this poetry exam and he didn't offer any office hours. I'm not going to talk about that one student as well. That's not a loss. However, I will discuss the one major loss I had this week. I bring lunch to school just about every day. And the one day I didn't bring lunch, I'm starving. And I'm like, what's around this community? I see a fire empanada Argentinian spot. I'm like, ooh, I'm going there. I placed the order online, bada bang, bada boom. Waited 10 minutes, left. I get there, it's closed. The spot is closed. And I just told y'all, I don't have time to waste. I don't have time to waste. I look at my email. I'm like, oh, okay. So they fired this email 5 minutes after I placed the order. That here's your money back. We are closed. One, yes, people might think, why didn't you check? They shouldn't have let me even place the order. It should have said, we are closed currently. I waste a lot of times. I didn't get any empanadas. This is why I never leave the building for lunch, and I'm just not doing it anymore. Things like that happen. And you know what? I don't know if I should consider this a loss or a win. I do have ambivalent feelings about it. Keaton, you left a comment under one of my TikTok posts saying, now this is quality. I was a little hurt by that. One, I liked it because you thought my post was good, but what do you mean now this is quality? What'd you think about my other posts? I don't know if that's a loss. Keaton, thank you. Thank you for your support. I'll leave it there. Thank you for coming to my class today. Just remember to subscribe. Educators, I'll give you a nice reference. Please subscribe. Have a great weekend, y'all. Mr. M, out.